Okay, so we are going to substitute a 5 shape into the C box, which is the 1 shape, and play root 3 6, and instead of getting root 3 6 from the 1 shapes, which starts at C, we're going to get root 3 6 from the 5 shape, which starts at G. So it's 6 root 3. It's starting with the G is 6 root 3. Okay. Now remember that we're starting with the G here, so it's 6 root to 3 on the D. Okay, because remember that G diatonic goes like. So we have, there's our little E minor right there. Now we're going to just do B as the 3rd, which is C, and then E as the 6th to root like that. And we made our A minor, our E minor there once again. That's it. So that's pretty much the crux of the substitution. That's why we can go ahead and go forward with just knowing how to do the 1 string shape. That's the 6. We will substitute to get the 3rd, substitute to get the 2nd. And there's other ways of knowing how it is. If you just want to play the chord, you can substitute the chord and go ahead and play that. But it's a good way to, if you're in the middle of nowhere, you want to connect these string shapes up, together like that. It'll come in handy, believe me. And we have our half diminished pentatonics. Okay, so remember, these guys down here are just the same thing, where we have the circle there. So instead of starting on A here, going up here, and then around the square to here again, we can use the circle here and do the A here for triads. These are the triad string shapes. So it's a little easier here in the short patterns. It's a little easier here. You just keep going around the circles. You go up the strings, down the circles, you go down the strings. Okay, so let's look at half diminished so we don't, get lazy about half diminished. The half diminished pentatonic, as you know, when we looked at the minors, you have C and its relative minor. We have F and its relative minor. We have G, or the 5th, and its relative minor. And then we have D minor, and its relative minor is the B double minor, half diminished. So that's how we do that. That's why we play a raw pentatonic D minor on it, and we just start that from the B. Because when we play in guitar, when we play a pentatonic, an E minor pentatonic, well, let's talk about an A minor pentatonic. Everybody's always talking about an A minor pentatonic. We don't go, although that sounds cool, we go, okay, so they talk about A minor pentatonic being like, okay, not, all right, like that, we don't play it like this. We don't play that. That's just going up the diatonic scale. We play in the major pentatonic, so it's all right. So similarly with the half diminished, we're going to play in 1 major up from it, but it's a double. Remember, to make a half diminished, we have a double minor stacked there, 2 minor intervals. So we're going to advance that 1 and play into its parent minor. So it would be playing into the D minor. So it would be but playing into that raw D minor now. So it would be going like 7 2 3 4 6, right? like that. So we do kind of get back into the scale there, but there's an interval there to be concerned with. Similar to the way a pentatonic scale is scalular, but there's intervals there. You know, we do 1, 2, 3, 5, 6. In the half diminished pentatonic, the way I've voiced it, we're doing 7, root 2, 4, 5. Okay? And then we can do the triad just 7, 2, 4. And this is just raw. I'm not doing any substitutions here. I found it easier to do that instead of what I call the tritone substitution off of that second minor, because you remember when you have the second minor, you got the D minor here. Okay, if we substitute the seventh for the sixth, see, we get that. But if we're looking at that 6 as a third, we're going to be substituting the tritone there, which is the B. You know, so the B is actually the augmented fourth, or the tritone of the parent of the second minor. If you got that, you get an A in the course. So that's half diminished triad. Again, just follow the numbers. There's nothing in A if we're not playing that seventh. So here now in the long pattern, which goes 4, 5, 6, we have the 4. We just play them. So from the D pattern, it would be for the D half diminished, it'd be 2, 4, and then nothing on the A string, and then 7, 2, and then 4, and then 7, and then back to 2, 4. All right. So that's string shapes for the half diminished. You could just remember the actual numbers without doing a substitution, because there's 3 minors, but there's only 1 half diminished. And by the way, talking about unique modes, let's talk about the dominant. Look over here, and when I was doing the 7th chord ramp scale, right, where we're going, we're hitting every mode in its 7th. Well, guess what? The 5th mode is dominant, and that's also unique. Okay, so we've got like an E minor 7th, a D minor 7th, and an A minor 7th. They're not unique, but the dominant is unique, and the half diminished 7th is unique. The major 7th is not unique because we have a fourth major 7th, same exact intervals. So I decided to do the string shapes for the dominant strings. Okay, the string shapes for the half diminished 7ths, just 7, 2, 4, 6. Again, these are just selecting within the same string shapes within the same pattern, long pattern that we looked at, that goes around, you know, C, G, D, and then A with the long detour, and then back to E and C again. All right. Now, I forgot what I was going to say. So these are the string shapes. So that's if we're going to do the ramp pattern. By the way, you go down the pattern backwards. Okay, so and we would use the major 7th chords to do that. So here's the major 7th. This is everything in every other note on the white notes of the keyboard. And when you do that, you find that if I just literally follow every other note on the scale on the white notes in the keyboard, which is the key of C, I get. But does that sound anything like? Watch both hands now. Ready?